It's me, it's Queen Osetta, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Okay, so I got a letter and I'm going to read it to you, okay? It's pretty short. Hi, Queen. Happy holidays. I have a question. At the top of 2018, I decided to not talk to or deal with anyone in an effort to work on self. Towards the end of the year, however, December 12th, I met someone who I thought was my twin flame. Long story short, he ended up being a narcissist. So I ended it after 8 days of knowing him. My question is this: is it really true that we attract who we are? Because I'm nothing like him. I'm not manipulative or dishonest or pushy. I let him pressure me into being intimate. I'm working on my self esteem, but it isn't as low as his. When I would say positive things about myself, like no girl is prettier than me, he'd say, "You don't really believe that." I'm not grimy or dishonest, and I was really hoping he'd be different. I thought I'd be rewarded for working on myself this year with a man. Laugh out loud. But I ended up alone again. What does it mean if I keep attracting these kinds of guys? It's funny to me because the first thing I noticed is that you said you were alone to work on yourself, but as soon as a man presented himself, you abandoned yourself. So I think that's part of your lesson right there is self-love. As soon as a man popped up, you abandoned yourself and moved right on to him. So that's one of the things. But let's get to your question. What does it mean? You don't always attract someone who's exactly like you. You attract someone who is in that ballpark. For example, you may be an apple and you may attract an orange. You're going to attract another fruit, but not a vegetable. Okay? So it's going to be someone in that ballpark. So you might not be pushy. You might not be any of those kind of things. You may not even be a narcissist. But I bet you're just as damaged as he is in some way. And I know that because you said you were working on yourself. And you're obviously not finished because you're not attracting somebody who's a decent person. So what it is that you are attracting people who are just as damaged as yourself. And this happens to all of us. You know, he doesn't have to be exactly like you. He's just damaged in some way. And every time you go to meet somebody before you've healed yourself, you're going to draw to you another damaged person. When I drew Voldemort, I wasn't like Voldemort. I wasn't Cancer. I wasn't using sex as a weapon. I wasn't manipulative in those kind of ways. But I had a lot of issues. I wasn't loving myself. And I was doing a lot of stuff to get love when I needed to be giving it to myself. So even though we weren't exactly the same, we were both screwed up. So that's what it is. You're attracting somebody who's equally as screwed up. They just don't have the same symptoms. They don't have the same exact disorder. For example, you're bipolar and you attract somebody who's a narcissist. You don't have the same diagnosis, but you both got some issues. So that's what it is. If you have issues, you're going to attract someone who has issues. And you're going to keep attracting men who have issues until you give yourself the time to heal your own issues. So my thing is that you also tried to manipulate the universe by saying, "Oh, I'm going to work on myself and maybe I'll get rewarded with a man." That probably will happen one day, but you weren't done yet. You cut your own process short to go spend time with this gentleman. So what you need to do is go back to the drawing board. You see? Don't deal with anybody till you're finished your process. You're finished your healing. You're finished whatever it is you're trying to work out. You know? So instead of, dating someone as soon as somebody pops up, don't do that. Put all dating on the back burner until you're healthy and you're in a healed space. That you're able to then use the law of attraction to draw to you what you actually want. In the meantime, you're going to keep on drawing to you other people that are damaged. That's the bottom line. And they're not going to be always damaged in exactly the same way that you're damaged. Some of them will, and some of them will be worse. Voldemort was way worse than I was, you know? And that's what's going to happen. Until you heal thyself, you'll keep on drawing to you screwed up individuals. The same thing happened with me. I drew screwed up individual after screwed up individual after screwed up individual because something in me was not ready. Something in me was screwed up. So until I said, wait, I'm going to stop dating and work on me and wait for Goddess to send someone to me who she wants me to be with, the right person. That's why I haven't dated in all this time, because I'm like, I'm just going to work on me until I see where Goddess wants me to go. And Goddess will show me. God will show you who the right person is, but you're not going to be able to attract the right person until you're finished your own healing. This is the thing that a lot of people do. You can't abandon yourself for a relationship. You've got to work yourself out and then work towards drawing to you a good relationship. So if I were you, I wouldn't do this anymore. And the good news here is that you realized it fast. 8 days is really good because you could have been stuck with this joker a lot longer than 8 days before you figured it out. So go back to the drawing board. Go back to working on yourself and don't stop for anything. Don't be with anyone until you're finished your healing work and it's somebody that you're certain that God has sent forward to you. Most healing work, it depends on how damaged you are. It depends on how bad it is, but it might take longer than a year. You know, it might take a couple years. You know, it took me quite a few years to get myself together. So give yourself time to just work on you, and don't worry about drawing another person. The universe will tell you when you're finished with your process. You'll know, and they'll tell you when the right person has come along. So it's good that you figured out after 8 days this wasn't the right person, but you shouldn't have started seeing him in the first place. You should have told the brother, let me take your number, and when I get myself together, when I'm done with my process, then I'll give you a call. Okay? So go back to your process, go back to your healing. It makes me wonder too, what are you doing to heal? Because a lot of people will tell me they're working on themselves, and I'm like, so what exactly did you do? Did you go to therapy? Did you do some self-help books? Did you get into spirituality? What exactly did you do? Because just staying single and doing me is not working on yourself. Staying single and throwing yourself into work or into your empire or into school or into your children, those things are all perfect and noble, but it's not working on yourself. It's not something that's going to draw to you the relationship. Working on yourself means healing what those wounds are. And you can only heal those wounds if you're willing to open up, look at them, and address them. And a lot of times we need a professional's help. A lot of times we need a spiritualist. We need a therapist. We need a psychiatrist a lot of times to help us with that energy. We need self-help books. So my question to you then becomes, what are you actually doing to work on yourself? Look at your methods. You know, and that's my next thing. So look at your methods. Look at what you're doing. What are you doing? Are you seeing a therapist? More than likely, that's a good start for people who are open to seeing a therapist. So you have got to look at how you're trying to do this, because what will happen is if you're just not dating and just doing, you know, career, children, school, with that kind of thing, what's going to happen is that you're just going to bury yourself into something else. That's still not addressing the issue. That's like saying I broke my leg, so now I'm just going to, you know, focus on work. I'm going to focus on my job. Like, what about your leg? I'm just going to focus on work. Nah, you got to focus on healing your leg. You're going to work, take care of your kids, you're going to go to school, you're going to do all those kind of prosperous, successful things, but you have to heal your leg. You can't just drag it around and say, I'm working on me. You know, you're not working on your leg. You must work on it specifically. So look at what you're doing specifically to heal yourself, that you will be able to draw a person who's that healed later on down the line, using, I would say, the law of attraction. If I were you, I wouldn't date anybody. I wouldn't even try until I did that, because you're going to keep on drawing it. When you said, what does it mean if I keep attracting these kind of guys? It means your process isn't over yet. It means you haven't finished healing yet. Because if you had, you would have drawn somebody that matched your healed state. you'll meet a healed person. You see, as long as you're drawing damaged people, you're still in a space of being damaged. You see? So you're going to keep on drawing them. It doesn't matter if it's males or females, whatever you're into, you're going to keep on drawing these damaged energies over and over again until you're through your process. That's how I gauge where I'm at. If I draw a damaged person, I'm like, I'm not done yet. Damn. You know? So I know that energy. So that's where you're at. You're not done. So go back to your work. Go back to working on yourself seriously, not just saying it, but really, really seriously doing it. Okay? And then eventually you will heal yourself. And then eventually you'll be able to use the law of attraction to draw to you a healed, decent person who's not a narcissist, who's not hurtful in any way. You know, they're not going to be perfect. I'm not ever going to guarantee you a perfect partner, but it will be a partner that you can work with. You know, a partner that honors you. They're not going to be perfect. They're going to have their own issues. You know what I'm saying? You know, their little idiosyncrasies, leaving the toilet seat up, you know, those kind of things. You're going to have those kind of issues. But for the most part, they shouldn't be abusive. You know, they should be somebody who's come healed and ready to play the game. Okay? I hope that helps. All right, guys, if you would like to leave a love donation, I will leave all of my information underneath this video. PayPal for a love donation, my email if you want to drop me a message, if you want to make an appointment for a tarot or oracle card reading. Oh, also, I will drop my Instagram and my Facebook because I am on social media in case you want to hit me up that way. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to someone else who may be going through this issue. A lot of us have been through this issue, and it's not always easy to figure out how to get out of it. So please share me with anybody who might need to hear this. Okay, guys? See you later.